Welcome to this next module in the Nadex Touch Brackets series, How They Work. In the previous module, we learned the basic structure of the Nadex Touch Brackets. In this video, we'll take a closer look of this structure and how price moves within that structure and how these contracts expire. A Nadex Touch Bracket, as we know, is a contract which trades within a set price range capped by the floor and the ceiling. The floor is the lowest point the contract can trade. The ceiling is the highest point a contract can trade. Touch brackets can expire in one of two ways. They can expire by price or by time. In the next module, we'll focus on time. In this module, we'll be focusing on price. With a touch bracket, if either the floor or the ceiling of the contract are touched or surpassed, the contract is immediately expired and settled at that level. So for example, if a floor of a contract is touched, that contract is immediately expired at the exact level of the floor. Once a contract is expired by touch, a new contract is created to replace it at a new level. That's why these are called touch brackets. If either of the boundaries are touched, then the new range is created. The previous one immediately expired at that level. With the new touch brackets, if one is created, that will have the same expiration date as the original series. So let's take a look at the definition of a touch. A touch that creates an immediate expiration is defined as, in the case of the ceiling, the Nadex indicative underlying index being equal to or higher than the ceiling. For the floor, if the Nadex indicative underlying index is equal to or lower than the floor. Please note, for both a floor and a ceiling, the indicative index does not have to exactly equal either one to be considered touch, but if it surpasses either. So if there's a slight gap in the market, if it goes beyond those levels or is equal to either of those levels, it is considered touched and expired immediately at that level. And if this seems confusing at this point, don't worry. We'll run through some examples both in this module as well as the following modules to help it become very clear. In the case of a market gap, if more than one bracket is expired by touch simultaneously in very volatile market conditions, the number of new brackets required to bring the total number of 4 will be created. Now there are certain situations, perhaps a geopolitical event or some type of other announcement which creates a very large gap, there may be trading halted on these brackets until the markets become more orderly. But for now, let's keep it simple. It's the same as any market. You're a buyer if you think the market is going up. You sell if you think the market is going to go down. The goal, as always, is to buy low and sell higher, or sell high and buy lower. Let's take a look at a couple of examples, and hopefully it'll clear up what is undoubtedly a bit of confusion at this point. So we saw this structure in our previous module where we have 4 brackets created, all with various floor to ceiling ranges with their own unique offset to the market. As the market moves, as we can see here, it goes up. It moved up to the ceiling of bracket number 4. So bracket number 4, as we can see, is then knocked out. The ceiling of bracket number 4 was originally 10 points over the market, or at 27.30. This bracket is now expired at 27.30, and that's the settlement value. At this point, a new bracket is created with its own distinct range. Bracket 4 was knocked out due to the market moving up. So the new bracket will be listed accordingly to the ceiling of old bracket number 4. So we have a new floor at 27.20 and a new ceiling at 27.70, or 50 points. Let's take a look at another example. Here, in this scenario, we see the market moving down and touch the floor of bracket 1. Bracket 1 started with a floor closest to the indicative index. The market moves down, and we see the indicative index touch the level of 1, thus knocking it out. Following the expiration of this contract, a new bracket is created, as you can see in a stair-step down pattern. The new bracket is created based on where the original bracket number 1 was knocked out. If the market continues moving down and knocking out brackets, we'll continue to see a descending order in how the new brackets are listed. Let's recap this module. Touch brackets can expire in one of two ways, by price or by time. In this module, we focused on price. If price is equal to or surpasses either the floor or the ceiling, this contract is considered touched and will be immediately expired. Following an expiration by touch, a new contract or contracts will be created based on the floor or ceiling of the previously expired contract. This is done to replace the contracts expired and will typically keep the number of contracts available at a number of 4. Please move on to the next video where we'll take a look at how touch brackets expire by time. Of course, as always, if you need assistance, don't hesitate to contact us by email or telephone. We're here and we'd love to help.